Today we finally got the first trailer for Captain Marvel, and we are here to break down everything that you need to know before you see the movie, and everything that occurs within the trailer. The trailer opens with Carol Danvers falling from space as she lands within a blockbuster video. We then hear lines from a young Nick Fury that suggest that Carol has gone renegade from a group called the Star Force, which is kind of like intergalactic enforcers that are run by the Kree Empire. We learn that Carol Danvers isn't even sure where she's from, as before she always believed that she was a Kree warrior, but as we know, she's actually from Earth. Carol Danvers is in fact human and was originally an Air Force pilot. As for the reason why Carol goes renegade from the Star Force, I believe it's because the Kree as well as the Skrull wish to invade Earth. In the comic books, the Kree wanted to invade Earth to use it as a sort of base for their war with the Skrull. And as we see later on in the trailer, when Carol actually punches an old lady, we know that the Skrulls are on Earth currently. From the EW report, we learned that Ben Mendelsohn will be playing the leader of the Skrulls, and his name is Talos, and that he has already infiltrated the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D. Speaking of S.H.I.E.L.D., we actually get to see them on a much smaller scale throughout the trailer, as even Nick Fury has been described as a desk jockey. We also got a look at a de-aged Phil Coulson, and learned that Nick Fury and Coulson will meet in the events of Captain Marvel. Going back to the Skrulls though, in the comic books and in Phase 4, the events of Captain Marvel are setting up something known as Secret Wars. This is when the Skrull Empire, an alien race of shapeshifters and conquerors, invade Earth. They do so by assuming the identities of people that they have captured. Now I would like to discuss why Carol Danvers has amnesia throughout this trailer. In the comics, Carol develops amnesia as a result of her powers being too intense for her body to handle. Because of this, two separate personalities form, a Carol Danvers and a Miss Marvel. Here though, this appears to have changed, as it looks as if the people that she is working for, the Kree, have altered her brain. This leads into the theory that Jude Law, who has been rumored to be playing Mar-Vell, is actually the main villain of the film. This also explains why characters like Ronan, who we know are villains, is in association with Captain Marvel at the beginning of the film, as well as characters like Korath, who we know are villains in Guardians of the Galaxy films, only now they're within the ranks of the Kree Empire as opposed to their events in Guardians of the Galaxy, where they no longer are. I suspect that the Kree have manipulated Carol Danvers and are using her as some kind of weapon without her knowledge. They've used some sort of machine to wipe all of her memories from Earth, and therefore she believes that she is Kree, at least at first, until of course she goes renegade and ends up fighting both the Kree and the Skrulls. Speaking of Ronan, we actually get a shot of him overlooking a planet within the trailer, although which planet we don't know, although I would speculate it could be Earth, and this is the imminent Kree invasion, an invasion that Captain Marvel will likely attempt to stop. We then get a few shots of Carol Danvers as well as the Star Force in space. The Star Force is kind of like an elite warrior sect of the Kree Empire. We see Carol Danvers as well as her crew go what is called binary. Binary is essentially the peak of Carol Danvers' power. This is why I believe she is glowing blue in the trailers as they travel across space. In the comic books, binary is as powerful as Carol Danvers gets, as she achieves the power of a white hole. For a brief moment in the trailer, we actually see a jet explode as Carol begins to absorb its energy, which is one of her key powers. This is likely one of the first times in the timeline that Carol has ever used her powers, as she is still in an Air Force uniform. And finally, the last shot of the trailer is of Carol embracing her powers, as they are of course energy based. Again, I believe the plot of the film is that Carol discovers something about the Kree and decides to flee to Earth, as she is shot down by a Skrull ship. Here, Carol is likely forced to stand with S.H.I.E.L.D. as she repels both the Kree and the Skrull Empire. She'll have to fight off the imminent Skrull invasion, as well as repel the Kree Empire in the form of the Star Force, which was a group she was formerly a part. The biggest takeaway for the trailer for me is it looks as if the Kree Empire has been manipulating the memories of Carol Danvers. In addition, in paving the way for Avengers 4, where Captain Marvel will face off against Thanos, Captain Marvel will also set up the events of Secret Wars, where where the Skrulls will invade on a much larger scale and even assume the identities of heroes that we all love. But what are your guys' thoughts on the trailer for Captain Marvel, and what do you expect from the film, as well as the events that it will set up for the future of the MCU? Has this trailer worried you or won you over for the film? Leave all of your thoughts in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with everything Marvel as Captain Marvel approaches. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, subscribe to join the team, and have a great day.